Valentine's Day. Well, today in math, we're going to work with some Valentine's math problems, and I've set a couple worksheets on everybody's table. Does everybody have a worksheet? Everybody?
Miss Amanda,
Yes.
we need one more.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Who can remember what Dana taught us just a few minutes ago? What did we use? What were these materials called that we used?
The base 10 blocks?
Base 10 blocks, that's right. And were all the blocks the same size and shape? Or were they different? They were different, that's right. What did we call these blocks here?
Longs.
Longs. And what were the other blocks called? The smaller ones, Jolene?
Units.
Units or ones. That's correct. Well, today we're going to do our first math problem, number 1 on your worksheet, and we're going to review using the base 10 blocks. Now first, we want to make sure we have our mats set up right. Does everybody have, if you raise your right hand up in the air and place it down on your mat, your right hand should come down on your, which side? The block side, the one side, that's right. So who can read problem 1 for me out loud? Amber.
If Jane receives 42 Valentine cards from her friends on Saturday and Tommy receives 32, how many cards will Jane and Tommy have altogether?
Very good. What would be the first thing we do to work out this problem? What would we do first? Jeff.
You would take 4 longs and 2 units to
Okay.
make it 42.
Okay, and where am I going to place them? Am I going to place them down below here?
No, you're going to place them up higher.
Place them
Or
up higher.
should go up higher.
There. And I want everybody to do this along with me. Where? I'm going to place the 4 here. How many ones are we going to use, Jeff?
2
And I'm going to place them where?
on the top of
We place our 2 ones in the box above. Now what am I going to do? Who can tell me what my next step is?
Put 3 tens down here.
3 tens.
Below the-
Right down below. That's correct. What am I going to do after that?
Two ones on each side. Make 3.
That's great. So now we have our base 10 blocks all set up. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Am I going to leave it set up the way I have it? Or should I make some adjustments and move some of the pieces around? Amy, what do you think you do?
I think we should move the 2 1 units on the bottom up to the 2 units on the top.
Okay, so we're going to move them up here. Just like that, Amy?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're almost done. Now what should we do to finish off this problem? Count them. That's right. So let's count. First we'll count our ones together. Everybody, I want you to count out loud, really loud.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So we have 4 1-unit blocks. Let's count our tens. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So what's our answer to this problem?
74.
74. That's right. Good job, everybody. Now I want you to clear off your mats, but keep your mats out because we're going to use them again. Now today, we're going to learn a way we can use our base 10 blocks and our place value mat, but we're also going to use something called a recording chart. And I have one for you over here. Now, I want you all to look up here at the recording chart. What's something you notice about this recording chart? What do you think these up here represent? Julie?
The long one represents the long, and the little one represents the unit.
That's right. This block here represents our longs, and this block here represents our units. Now, we're going to use this recording chart to help us along with our problem. Now, if you look on your worksheet, we're going to go to problem number 2, and we're going to work out this problem, and then I'm going to show you how to use the recording chart. Who can read problem number 2 for me? Guys, let's not play with the blocks.
You love that.
It's okay, just don't use the blocks when you play with them. Can you put them down for me? Thank you. Okay, who can read problem 2? Holly, why don't you read it for us? Number 2.
Mary wants to buy 58 candy bars for her friend for Valentine's Day. Sue wants to buy 25 lollipops. How much candy will the two girls have all together?
Very good. Now, Holly, what's my first step going to be? To using our base 10 blocks. Are you listening, Holly? Which number do we want to use first?
58.
58, that's right. Now what are we going to do with that 58? Are we going to put blocks on our chart? Okay. How many of the longs are we going to need on our chart to make 58?
5.
5, that's right. We're going to place 5 blocks of our longs on our chart. Is everybody working along? Holly, can you get your chart out? Okay. We're going to put our 5 blocks on. Who can tell me how many ones we're going to need for this problem? Go ahead.
8 ones.
8 ones, that's right. So we're going to put our 8 ones up here. What's our second number in this problem? Okay, so now that we have our first number down, we're going to record our first number in our recording chart. What was our number again? Everybody out loud?
58.
58, that's right. So we're going to write 58 in our chart. Making sure we put our 5 in our longs box, and our 8 in our shorts, and our ones box. What was our second number in our problem? 25, that's right. And how many longs are we going to need? 2, and how many ones? 5, that's right. Everybody have that in their charts?
Can I write that in? There's no more 1.
No. Make sure you share your ones. You don't want to break your ones or your tens.
I really am.
So now we're going to write our 25 in our chart. Is everybody paying attention? We're going to come over here and write 2 in our longs box and 5 in our units box. Okay, now our next step is we want to count up how many ones we have on our place value map all together. So we're going to count all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're going to take that 13 and we're going to put it into our box right here. And we call this our think bubble. So we're going to write the 13 in our think bubble. What do you notice about this think bubble? What's coming out of the think bubble? Arrows. What do you think that means? What do you think? Jack?
I bet that the 1 represents the tens place, and that's why it's by the tens, and the 3 represents the ones place.
Okay, so we want to move our 3 number and follow the arrow and write it in this box. Because what are we going to do with our units? What do we want to do? Do we want to leave them like this on our chart? We want to combine them. So what are we going to do? We're going to move 2 up, and then what am I going to do with those 10? Replace them. Take your 10 units off and replace it with 1. So what am I going to do with the remaining 3? I'm going to move them up. And this is where we get our 3 from that comes from our box. We have 3 units left over. And how many tens did we add? 1. So we're going to bring our 1 over to our box. Make sure we follow the arrows and put the right numbers in. So now, all we have to do is add up our tens blocks. So let's add them up all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So where do you think I'm going to write this 8 at? Which box do we have empty? John?
The one by the three.
Right here. We're going to write 8 in here. So what's our answer? 83. Anybody have any questions? I know we kind of went through that a little fast. Now I want you guys to pull out your charts. Everybody should have a chart, a reporting chart on their table. Everybody get out their reporting charts. Everybody have one? That's fine. You could fill them in as I went along. That's fine. But you should have 2 on your paper, so you can use the blank one. So everybody pull out a pencil. You can use a pen if you have a pen. So we're going to fill out the chart using problem number 3. Can somebody read problem 3 out loud for me?
Julie. Kelly's dad gives her 49 flowers for Valentine's Day, and Kelly's mom gives her 38. How many flowers will Kelly have altogether?
Good. Now I want you to get into pairs, and I want you to work on this problem using your base 10 blocks and your recording charts. And I'll walk around, and if anybody needs help, you can raise your hand. I don't have a partner. You guys can work together, all 3 of you. Remember the steps that we had.
And 9 units for the flowers that are dead. Then we put 3. You guys remember? Where you gonna write this number? Your first number.
I forgot where we got the other
That's very good, Samantha. So we put 4. Samantha, what number are we going to do? Brandon, what number are you going to put in your 17? Why should I put 17?
Put 9 here. And we counted them down.
That's right.
We just exchanged flowers.
Let me see your chart. How many people need more time to finish our problem? Anyone? Okay, now I'd like 2 people to come up and demonstrate how they did their problem. Who would like to demonstrate for us? Make sure you tell the class exactly how you do the problem.
Kelly's dad gave her 49 flowers. So we're going to represent 49 with 4, what are they called? Not rods. Longs.
Or rods.
4 rods. And 9 units. Okay. Okay, and that was for that intermodal of 38. So we're putting 3 in the rod and 8 over here. And since we have 9 and 8, that makes 17.
So what would you do with the 17?
So we put the 1, we put 17 here, we brought the 7 down here, the 1 over there.
You can't see through John, he's standing in front of the picture.
Is that better? Thanks. Now what are you doing?
You put a 1 over there and left the 7. So then you have 3 pounds.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The 1, yeah. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 87.
87. How many people got 87 for the answers? Everybody, good job. Very good job. Thank you. Okay, and now in review, how can we use recording charts to help us use our base 10 blocks? Can anybody tell me how you can use these? How does using a recording chart help us add up our base 10 blocks? Amy?
The think box helps you remember where to put the ones in the extra 10.
That's right. John?
Kind of keeps me organized.
It
So I
keeps
know
you
where everything
organized.
goes.
That's right. Now we're going to get ready for Angie's lesson on subtraction. Thank you, everybody.
Using that until children are really ready to make the transition into the more traditional. And I think for special needs students, I think I'd want one of them in my back pocket to.
So would you use that till they can add 8 plus 5 without
Sure.
doing it?
Yeah, and we know they can add 8 plus 5 now, but what you do with that extra 1?
Yeah, but I mean carrying the 1, yeah.
Yeah, making a trade. Yeah,
Making a
we
trade.
no longer
more
carry
carrying,
things that we
right?
don't borrow. When we make trades, we regroup. And you'll hear children are using those terms, right, Amy?
Yeah.
And so as a teacher, you want to make sure you're, it's going to be hard to do that because that's what you
I
said.
think personally that was the hardest part, is just remembering all the terms and using them, because I never used any of this when I was in school, so I think for me that was the hardest part.
Yeah. Even though it's kind of like a trivial lesson, there's a lot of learning can go on and for you as teachers, because you've got to pick up on this new jargon and the new way of doing it. So there is learning. You are teaching. You did a good job.
I think as a class we were louder for your lesson, and I think classroom management-wise you did a pretty good job because you didn't interrupt every time somebody did. You kind of did like proximity, or like you came over to our table one time. So I think that was good.
Why do you think you were louder?
I think that we weren't nervous as much, plus we took the blocks out. Like, we just told us to go ahead, and I think we started playing with them instead of doing the actual problem.
I noticed that about the blocks was a lot of block noise, and I think I might have said, okay, everybody get the blocks out, and we will continue when they're quiet. You know, just that's hard to talk over that noise, and plus it means that people aren't paying attention. So I think I would have made that.
I think too, and this is just an observation, but sometimes if the teacher has a softer voice, the students seem to get a louder voice, and you have a slightly softer voice, so that might be another reason why everybody, it's like they feel they have to compensate for all that quiet.
It can work both ways. Sometimes, well, I've been known to have a loud voice, but sometimes if then you use your loud voice and get very soft, boy, does that get students' attention, you know. So if you modulate, if you change the tone of it, I think it gets kids off track.
I also think like when it gets closer to like lunchtime or like recess or whatever, you get more wound up. Like first, Dana went, and then we were okay, and then you went, and now I think Angie goes next. So like, she's the last one to go. She's more like wound up and ready to go.
I think that's it.
Dana.
So I know Amy said that you have a soft voice, but I also think that you're doing a lot better with speaking louder in front of the class. So I remember when I had foundations with you, you were always very spoken, and I think you're doing a lot better with speaking louder in front of us.
I agree. I was looking for you to be too soft, and I think you used your voice well, and you used it with confidence. I think you taught us that you knew what you were doing. I think that's an important quality in your voice, to say it with sureness, even, just, it maybe can be a little bit softer, but as long as you're saying it with conviction, that helps.
I was just going to say, even though your voice was soft, we had no trouble hearing you back here in the back table.
I just want to say about the classroom management, like when Christy and John were up at the board, I was really going to goof off, but you were standing right beside me, so I couldn't.
I knew right away to go right towards you. That was my plan.
One thing I noticed that started and then you corrected yourself, you had called on Holly, I think, to read one of the problems, and then you started asking her questions, and it almost became a private conversation between you and Holly. And I don't know whether you had the instinct or what, but then you turned it and asked other people. Be careful of those private conversations, because then you lose attention of the rest of the class. So you did turn it around real quickly.
I've seen a lot of classrooms too where the teacher, you didn't do it, but we'll call on the same people all the time, and other kids kind of just sort of sitting there like not paying attention. And
Get out the popsicle sticks. I haven't used the popsicle sticks for a while, but that helps break it up so that you don't do it. Because sometimes you give in to the instinct of whoever's hands up, and so you got to break that popsicle stick.
I think with you, like they said with Dana, the guy said, your teaching and stuff, you would be good with the younger kids, because your voice is soft, but it's yet like kind of comforting, like where I think it's more of a little kid's patience and understanding and being able to do that, like that.
Just to kind of go along with what Janine said, my daughter's kindergarten teacher had a very soft voice, and she happened to be a first-year teacher that year. And she did a wonderful job. I never saw any classroom manager problems, so the soft voice and the calmer personality worked beautifully in kindergarten, even for a first-year teacher. I was amazed at how extremely well she did. She was a graduate from here, by the way.
She was?
She was a graduate from here.
Okay, anything else? Good job, you.